Hello everybody, this is the Magic Man, the tennis preacher, the prophet, the psychic, coming back at you again with another... This is the Magic Man, the tennis preacher, y'all know the prophet and the psychic and the tennis pastor, coming back at you again with another video. Okay people, I got a request. God, I think I forgot. Well, it was a couple requests. And the request had to do with Nadal. Two people asked, they asked a question. They said, well, okay, you've been talking about the Djokovic greatness, the Djokovic versus Federer greatness. You did, what does Federer need to do to secure the GOAT status and stay the GOAT, arguably the GOAT. You said what Djokovic needs to do to stay the GOAT. I mean, not stay the GOAT, to become the GOAT. So this person said something very interesting. They said, well, what about Nadal? They say you haven't really done any videos specifically about Nadal, okay? And so I want to, let me show Nadal some love in the next few videos. And now listen, I have done many videos on Nadal as far as the last year and a half, and on Nadal's greatness and everything. But these two subscribers or these two commenters are right. In the last week, it's been about Djokovic and Federer, and Nadal was like mentioned in between. Okay, so now this video right here, people, it's not just about Nadal. I think the next video, I'm going to tell people what I think about Nadal as becoming the GOAT, or what Nadal needs to do. I say that for the next video after this one, and I may try to do that today. But what I want to do, people, listen, I want to talk about this Nadal versus Djokovic as far as the greater player. Because I say people they're always talking about Nadal versus Federer. But see, that's one reason why I haven't done any videos on that, because I already done so many videos on Nadal versus Federer. People, when I started my channel, I used to argue with Nadal fans all the time because I didn't put Nadal over Federer. So the Nadal versus Federer argument, that's old. I mean, everybody know that. Nadal fans arguing with Federer fans. Y'all know that. You can look in the conversations you can go onto any video, not just my channel. Go to any channel. Go to highlight channels. You can hear Nadal and Federer fans arguing all the time. That's old news. So I really don't even have to do any videos on Nadal versus Federer as the GOAT. I mean, we have already, no matter whose side you on, or if you think Nadal will be the GOAT, if you think Federer will stay the GOAT, that's an old argument. But Djokovic, this resurgence of Djokovic, this second dominant era of Djokovic has definitely ignited an exciting debate, almost a new debate now. Okay, I know we heard of in the past if Djokovic could surpass Federer, but this new dominance that Djokovic is showing is definitely exciting. So that's probably why I covered the thing. Okay, but let me get back to this Nadal versus Djokovic. Like I said before, people, everybody's always saying is Nadal greater than Federer, but nobody talks about at this time right now, is Djokovic equal? I mean, equal is important because some people think, well, you got to be either greater or less. No, you could be equal. He may have just become equal with Nadal in greatness. So that is let's not forget equal. So I don't want people to feel they got to either say Djokovic is greater than Nadal now, or he's less. So you can be equal where they're in the same right now, Now, I do have a video coming where I'm going to lay out the stats. Now, I know you said, well, Magic Man, you said that a few days ago. When's the video coming? Well, people, the reason why I take this very seriously, I'm looking at Djokovic's stats, and I'm putting it besides Nadal stats, and then I have to interpret it. See, it ain't just looking at stats saying, well, he got 17. You got to interpret the things, and I sort of feel it out as I go through my daily life. It just comes to me who I think is the greater player, because I don't want to just put out something and then I regret, okay, Djokovic's a greater player, but I didn't really know this about Nadal. Now I'm sort of thinking maybe they're equal. See, I want to make sure I get that right. But I will say this here. This is what I do know. This French Open, not just the French Open though, but this clay court season is going to officially determine who, if it's not already determined, but it will officially determine, I think, who's the greater player between Nadal or Djokovic. Okay, and let me explain to you what I mean by that. Is that for sure, if Djokovic beats Nadal at the French Open, the Djokovic is without argument to me a greater player than Nadal. Okay, not better player. I think he's already a better player, but the greater player. He ain't that much better player than Nadal. I mean, some people can argue, well, that better player thing, some people can argue when Nadal's in his God mode, he's as good of a player as Djokovic. Or when Federer's in his God mode, it's as good of a player. I think those guys, of course, better player. I'm talking about skill-wise. Now, somebody could say winning-wise, Djokovic, of course, is the better player as far as that he can beat Nadal and Federer. But if you say skill-wise who's the better player, I think skill-wise is all even, probably. Somebody could give that to Fed even. Say Fed got more skill. So it's kind of what you mean by better player. But some people maybe say better player just mean who can win, who can beat who. And so we know that's Djokovic if you look at it from that standpoint. But let me get back to this Nadal versus Djokovic in the French Open. People, now, let me just say this here, people. A lot of people already anticipating, and I'm already put out videos. I'm just that Djokovic can meet Nadal in the final, and we have to see who's going to win this thing. Can Djokovic beat Nadal in the French Open final? We know he beat Nadal when back in the quarters or something, 2000, when was it, 15 or whatever. But can Djokovic beat Nadal in the French Open final this year? But people, this is what no one is also talking about. I'm gonna put this out, and this why if Djokovic do this, he will undoubtedly, to me, be officially greater than Nadal. Okay, if Djokovic dominate Nadal, not just in the French Open, suppose he dominate Nadal for the entire clay court season. Means suppose he beat Nadal in Madrid, Barcelona, Rome, okay? And I'm leaving out a couple. Suppose he beat Nadal there. And plus then Nadal, he got a lot of points to defend. So it's suppose Djokovic beat Nadal in like the Rome and Madrid, and then beat Nadal in the French Open. That'll be like about 4,000 points that Djokovic will have cost Nadal, because Nadal got to defend all those points. Plus, if Djokovic dominates Nadal during the clay court season, he could go into the French Open as the favorite. I mean, some people say, well, that doesn't matter. And because you're the favorite don't mean you're going to win. But I'm just saying, Nadal should be the favorite. I think Nadal will be the favorite, but that would be interesting. Who would be the favorite if Djokovic beats Nadal? And Monte Carlo was the one I forgot. I don't know why I forgot that, because people, I told y'all, go back and look at 2013 Monte Carlo. Everybody acting like the way Djokovic beat Nadal, and even I was acting that way, but I thought about that. The way everybody acting like the way Djokovic just dominated Nadal in the Australian Open 2019 just a couple weeks ago, they acting like that's the first time that's happened. People, look at the 2013 Monte Carlo on clay. Nadal had won that sucker like about 8 times already or something. Djokovic, he dominated Nadal just as bad as he beat him at the Australian Open just 2 weeks ago. So that would be interesting. Who would be the favorite to win the French Open if Djokovic dominates Nadal, or just not even dominate him. Say he beats Nadal equally or beats him bad before the French Open even starts, beats Nadal bad in the clay court season. Now, if he does that, if Djokovic does that, then and then beats Nadal in the French Open, plus dominate him in the clay court season, Djokovic is undoubtedly the GOAT over Nadal, if not the GOAT already. See, he could be the GOAT already over Nadal, but I'm talking about officially, because I don't want to say Djokovic is greater than Nadal right now, because I need to look at everything, because I may, look at some. Nadal may have some stats that I don't even know about. I think I can see all of it, but I may interpret it differently, but I just wait. So if we can wait, what's wrong with waiting 3 months? We'll settle it. We'll find out by the end of May. We'll know if Djokovic is officially greater than Nadal, okay? Now, let me speak for the Nadal side, okay? If Nadal wins the French Open, plus dominate Djokovic, or just not even dominate him. Let's say he keeps Djokovic from dominating him, meaning at least keep it even, at least win a couple of the Master Series, Rome and Madrid or something, and then win the French Open. Whether he beat Djokovic or not, he don't even have to beat Djokovic in the French Open. If Nadal gets 18, okay, that puts that argument that I'm throwing out, or that people already feel has already happened, is that Djokovic is already greater than Nadal. That puts that into question. It's like, is he really greater than Nadal? We know he's either right there, equal or greater. But if Nadal puts the 18 majors and Djokovic still got 15, I know Djokovic got all these other records, and I know you can still make the argument that he's equal or greater than Nadal. I know, y'all know the tennis prophet knows this, but we just keeping it on a surface level, if Nadal wins 18, I still think, if somebody has dropped Nadal, if someone has dropped Nadal to number 3 under Djokovic, say they got Federer, Djokovic, Nadal now, if Nadal wins the French Open 18, the person may put Nadal back number 2, okay? All right, and there will be a lot of records that will be broken too. If Nadal wins the French Open, that would be that he will have 12 French Opens. The 11 French Opens, nobody has ever dominated it well on the surface, and that's a GOAT characteristic. So people may put Nadal back number 2 if they have already taken Nadal for number 2 and put Djokovic number 3. So here's my point, and I'm going to close the video. This, not just the French Open, people, this clay court season is a GOAT, it's a competition between who's greater, between Nadal and Federer. I do believe when this clay court season is over, if both Nadal and, not Nadal and Federer, between Nadal and Djokovic, I believe that we would know, hands down, officially, who's the greater player between Nadal and Djokovic. When the clay court season is done, when the Master Series are done on clay, and when the French Open is finished. Okay, people? So, what we'll do, we'll just wait and see. Alright? Tennis preacher, tennis prophet, and the tennis psychic. Have a good one. The magic man, the tennis preacher, the prophet, the psychic, coming back at you again with a